Hi everybody, Gary Francione for the Abolitionist Approach. We've all heard the argument made by non-vegans that we vegans can't really be vegans because even if we eat plants, we're responsible for incidental and unintended deaths of animals who are killed in the planting and harvesting of crops. We've all heard that, right? Many times, actually. There are three responses to that argument I'd like to share with you. The first is, if you're concerned about, or if someone is concerned about the incidental and unintended deaths of animals who are caught up in the food production process, we're still obligated to go vegan because many fewer of them would die if we were all vegans. There'd be many fewer acres under cultivation. We use a lot of land to produce the crops to feed to animals. If we were all vegans, we'd have fewer acres under cultivation, so fewer animals would be incidentally killed in the food production process. There'd be fewer animals killed as a result of the water pollution, the massive and horrible water pollution that results from animal agriculture, and there'd be many fewer animals killed as a result of air pollution. The bottom line is, if what you're concerned about, or if the concern is that we don't want animals to incidentally die as far as the food process is concerned, food production process, then we're still obligated to be vegans because we'd be killing many, many fewer animals. By the way, a related point is people say, well, you know, there are animal ingredients in the plastics. The laptop that I'm making this video on right now most likely has some sort of byproduct, animal byproduct in the plastic. Well, if we weren't all eating animals, those slaughterhouse byproducts would not be as readily and as cheaply available, and we'd be using something else. So again, veganism is the answer to that particular problem as well. The second point I want to make is that if we cared enough about animals to stop eating them, if we adopt a vegan diet for moral reasons, we go vegan for moral reasons, we will then start thinking about ways of reducing the number of animals who are killed as part of the food production process. I mean, we're never going to be thinking about this. As long as we're willing to kill cows, pigs, chickens, and everybody else, we're not going to really be thinking very, very much about how we can reduce the incidental deaths that occur as part of the food production process. But if we cared enough about non-human animals to go vegan, then we would start thinking about that. We would come up with better ways of producing plants, for example, through veganic permaculture, and we would reduce dramatically the number of animals who are incidentally killed, even more than we would by going vegan and reducing the number of acres under cultivation and the effects on water and air. The third point is that some people will say, well, but you know, however careful you are going to, there are going to be deaths, and therefore you can't be vegan. That's just silly. That's like saying, because human activity will result, even if you do it carefully, will result in some human deaths, you can't be a human rights activist. I mean, think about it for a second. We build roads. We know when we build these roads that some number of people will die on them, depending on, you know, what the speed limit is and other circumstances like that. So, but building a road, you say, well, if we build this road, 10 people will be killed over the next year as a result of accidents if the speed limit is 65 miles an hour. Well, there's still a difference between building the road and killing those 10 people, deliberately killing or murdering those 10 people. All human conduct has adverse consequences on humans as well as non-humans. I mean, so that argument simply doesn't work. The bottom line is, if we care about non-human animals, if we believe they have moral value, we go vegan. It's that simple. This idea that, well, if you're eating plants, you're incidentally killing animals, you know what? We'd be killing many, many, many fewer of them if we were all vegans, and we would be thinking of ways of reducing even the lesser number of animals who are incidentally killed. For information about veganism, please visit our site, howdoigovegan.com, and thank you very much for listening.